Hi everyone, a little bit about myself. I am Vaibhav Kanwar, the founder of Clapbox, a musical instruments manufacturing brand that I started at the age of 20 back in my college days. Thank you. When I wasn't able to buy a cajon for myself, the instrument which I just played for you guys, because it was so expensive in the market back then, I had this crazy idea of making one for myself. And it was during this process I realized that maybe, in fact, I'd definitely love to be on the other side. I felt that money should not be a constraint to acquiring a new talent. I empathize with musicians and I just did not want anyone to go through what I had to go through as a college student. Long story short, Clapbox was started by a passionate musician wanting to solve a problem, wanting to introduce affordable music instruments in the country. It's been 7 years since its inception, and I am extremely grateful to tell you all that today, Clapbox is a family of more than 500,000 happy customers in the country, making us the #1 percussion musical instruments brand in India. This 7-year-old long journey has been a bumpy ride full of ups and downs, and I have to tell you this. Being a young entrepreneur is extremely difficult. You will find it very funny when I tell you that as a young entrepreneur, the biggest challenge I faced was that of my face. Let me explain. As a manufacturer of musical instruments, to be able to scale up the business, I wanted to distribute it through the offline channels. So naturally, I started reaching out to music stores, setting up meetings with them. I would go to them in person, show them my products, and try and convince them to buy from me in bulk. But to my surprise, even though these shop owners absolutely love the product, they would just outrightly refuse to buy from me, giving me absurd reasons. I remember having this conversation with one of the owners of a music store in Delhi who finally told me, Beta, look at you. You are a 20-year-old kid trying to sell us a technical product. Tomorrow, if you stop taking our calls, or for that matter, just completely shut the company, who is going to fulfill your promises of all the warranty support and after sales services that we commit to our customers? I was heartbroken and I just did not know what to do. I did not know who to go to. समझ ही नहीं आ रहा था. पता है, the biggest problem as a young entrepreneur is that you end up losing most of your close friends. And I'll tell you why. They just don't understand why you suddenly went MIA, missing in action. यार अभी तो बहुत टाइम होता था इसके पास हमारे लिए, अब तो पता नहीं बड़ा आदमी हो गया है, इसके पास कहाँ टाइम हमारे लिए. I remember I was sitting on the auditorium staircase of my college one day when I saw my bunch of friends walking past me going towards the canteen. They looked at me and immediately looked away, outrightly ignoring my presence. यही सोच रहे होंगे कि यार इसके तो बड़े नखरे हैं, इससे क्या बात करनी, हम आपस में ही खुश हैं, खुद ही चलते हैं यार, इससे नहीं पूछना. That's when there was this one classmate who noticed it. So he came next to me, sat next to me, and he put his arm around my shoulder and said, वैभव यार, बड़ा सैड सा लग रहा है तू, क्या हो गया यार, मैं भी तो दोस्त हूँ तेरा, बता ना. So I had never spoken to this guy, but I also, kind of needed a shoulder to cry on. So I told him कि भाई ऐसा ऐसा इशू है, मैंने एक बिजनेस स्टार्ट करा है और कोई ट्रस्ट करने को रेडी नहीं है मेरे पे. मुझे बस ये बोलते हैं कि यार यू आर जस्ट वेरी यंग. वैसे तो एवरीवन विल गो आउट देयर एंड से एज इज जस्ट अ नंबर, बट 20 इयर्स का नंबर इनके लिए आज छोटा हो गया. सो ही लुक्ड एट मी एंड सेड, भाई इतनी सी बात, इसका सोल्यूशन है मेरे पास. मैंने कहा बता ना. कहते हैं अरे भाई दाढ़ी उगा ले ब्रो. बिल्कुल मेच्योर लगेगा, बिल्कुल बोलते हैं ना एक्सपीरियंस्ड। मैं देखता हूँ कौन मना करता है तुझे उसके बाद। Oof, I know what he said sounds completely absurd with his fake it till you make it approach. But today, thinking about it, I feel that maybe something was a little right about the underlying idea behind this thought. They say, they say experience teaches you so many things in your life. Experience is the best teacher of life, and I have kind of started resonating with it. So today I will be sharing 7 life lessons that I have learned from my experience of running a business in the last 7 years. 7 for 7. How about we start with the first and the most important one? You always learn something out of your failures. Your efforts never go waste. Our society will say, failing is bad, bacho. Look at her, she failed at her math exam. Look at him, he failed at the business he had started. I say it's okay to fail. It's actually good to fail because your failures will always teach you a lesson. Before starting Clapbox, I had started 2 other companies at the age of 18 and 19, and I had miserably failed at both of them. The reason I was able to make Clapbox the industry leader was because of all the learnings I had from these 2 failed businesses. Maybe now I still did not know what to do, but इतना बता था कि क्या definitely नहीं करना. So I say, how about we start changing our perspectives towards failure and start celebrating it. So everyone who's present here, promise me that the next time you fail at an event, you have to take your best friend out for lunch, and it is going to be your treat because sure you failed, but you learned something new, right? My next life lesson is it's absolutely okay to not have a very clear vision. You know, a lot of people will tell you, you should know where you are, where is it that you want to be, and how is it that you're going to bridge the gap between the two. And I wouldn't lie to you, I was one of them until some time back I realized that it's absolutely okay to not have a clear vision. Sure, it always helps to have a short term and a long term plan, but that just does not mean that you should not be flexible enough to be able to pivot if the circumstances require you to do so. You see, life is full of twists and turns, and it's absolutely okay to not have everything figured out perfectly. Understand that the journey is just as important as the destination. My next life lesson is there is no right or wrong. लाइफ में ना बहुत लोग आके ज्ञान देंगे कि यार तू ना इसको ऐसे कर, उसको तू वैसे कर, लेकिन सुनो सबकी और करो अपनी। ज्ञान तो मैं भी अभी दे रहा हूँ ना, बट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट there is a possibility that all of us are going through different phases of our lives. It is not right to say that something that worked for me will just work for you exactly the same way it worked for me. We are in different, we could have different opinions, different goals, different circumstances in life. तो सुनो सबकी और करो अपनी. I'll give you an example. हो सकता है मुझे और तुम्हें, हम दोनों को यहाँ पे जाना है. तुम यहाँ से जाओ, मैं यहाँ से घूम के पहुँचूँ धीरे धीरे से. तुम जल्दी पहुँचे, मैं थोड़ा लेट हो गया. कोई बात नहीं यार, पहुँच तो दोनों ही गए ना. So you should know, what feels right to you. और जब सही और गलत में फर्क ना पता चल रहा हो ना, तो just follow your intuition. वो कहते हैं ना कि किसी चीज़ को अगर पूरे दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने की कोशिश में लग जाती है. So it's okay. My next life lesson is patience is very important. I've seen that a lot of people give up in their dreams when things are not looking smooth very early into their journeys. I say be patient. That's because good things take time, my friends. I say it's okay to be a little impatient if you plan on building a house. But if your dream is to build an entire empire, you have to be patient because there is nothing known as overnight success out there. Nothing known as overnight success. Nobody just suddenly wakes up in the morning and becomes successful. It is a process. At times, a little painful process. You need to trust yourself. Maybe it's just the universe testing you at the moment. My next life lesson is you should try and have a mentor in your life. Who is a mentor? He is a coach, a guide, or a trusted advisor who has been through a similar path that you want to walk on and who can actively help you speed up your process and drastically reduce your time in your journey from point A to point B. He is the living representation of the end goal that you want to achieve. And since he's been through a similar path and found creative solutions to all the problems, he will ensure that you do not have to go through the same set of struggles in your life. I have been fortunate enough to have had multiple mentors during different phases of my life, all with a different set of skill sets. My biggest life lesson is courage. Nobody has ever achieved anything big in business, or for that matter, any walks of life, without courage. Of course, you do feel a little scared when you start something new, or if you're onto building something big, that's completely natural. But you need to conquer the fear in you to be able to unleash the real hero within you. With courage, self-belief, and the can-do spirit, I say you can overcome any adversity in life. My last life lesson to you is, no matter what, always follow your dreams and passions. That's because when you're 80, 85 years old, you're weak, feeble, and the game of life could end someday. The only thing that is going to bother you at that point of time is what we call as regret. It will be, it could be the regret of not, let's say, marrying the person you wanted to marry when you were 28 years old. It could be the regret of not spending enough time with your family when you were 40 years old. And in some of our cases, it could be the regret of not starting the business you wanted to start when you were 25 years old. So before we end this talk, let's do a very quick exercise. I want all of you to close your eyes and I'm going to ask you a question. और उस क्वेश्चन का जो आंसर है ना वो खुद को करना है अपने माइंड में. You don't have to say it out loud. So are we ready for this? Yes or no? Great. Everyone, please close your eyes. My question to you is, what is it that you want to be doing every single day for the rest of your life? Thank you so much for being such a patient audience. That's my time.